I've been running a software development company for 3 years, and I have hired and fired a lot of agencies, freelancers, contractors, things like that. Throughout my years in business, I think I've noticed a couple patterns on why agencies tend to lose clients. I've lost clients myself, I have fired agencies myself, and I've seen other agencies lose clients as well. I'd say by far number one worst reason to lose a client is because your service isn't good enough. And I'll tell you why it's the worst reason to lose a client. It's because not only do you lose them and you lose whatever revenue they give you, but also they throw on top a bad reputation. When they get asked about your business, they're going to say that you're bad. They're going to tell other people not to work with you. And so they're a double negative force, because not only do you lose the money, but you also get them telling other people not to work with you. And that bad word of mouth, it really adds up the same way that good word of mouth does as well over the years. And so that is a double whammy. On a very operational and tactical level, the reason why your service isn't good enough, it just comes down to your attention to details. So basically, in whatever your domain is, you need to have a superior attention to detail than your client does. Because if your client is able to eye details and see things that you cannot see, you're never going to be able to hit their standard. The only reason that a client leaves you because they're not happy with the service is when they expect this and you deliver this. And the difference between these two levels is always in the details. It's the little things that they notice that you don't. And if you notice more little things than they do, they're always going to be happy because they expect this and you deliver this, and that's fine. It really comes down to your attention to details in the deliverables that you agree on. I would say that is the biggest reason why clients might leave unhappy with your service. It comes down to that. Other than that, clients might be frustrated with lack of communication. That's another big reason that a lot of people lose clients. But these two, I would say, cover some of the worst client losses because they cost you a lot of money. Then there's also obviously agencies lose clients because maybe they no longer need their service and things like that. So, a client's project is done, something like that. If they're satisfied with the project, the next time they need something, they'll come back to you or they'll recommend you other people. As long as they leave happy, I don't think you've really lost a client. Losing a client really means like they don't want to come back to you and they will not recommend you. They will talk badly about you. Like, these are the worst things that you want to avoid the most. And I can't express this enough to people, any B2B agency owner, or really any business in general. You need to make sure that your attention to detail is always superior to that of your customer. If that's not the case, you will lose them and they will be really frustrated. I hired an agency recently. This is actually a big learning for me because they did a bunch of things outside the service that was really nice. Like, they added a lot of icing on the cake. They'd send all kinds of weekly things, and they sent me a welcome package with a book and a mug. It's like a really nice mug and all this stuff. But fundamentally, the one service I paid them to do wasn't good enough. And I was seeing details and flaws that were really pissing me off because I was paying a premium. These guys were expensive and I was paying them to do this work. And what they were giving me was worse than what I would produce by myself. And that defeats the entire purpose of me paying them a premium and hiring them as an agency. It really pissed me off. And so no matter how many nice icing things you add on top of the cake, no matter how many cherries you decorate it with, if fundamentally the service isn't good enough, you're going to lose them. Not only are you going to lose them, but also, like, these guys, I would describe as one of the worst agency experiences I've ever had. If somebody asks me about them, I'm going to say, no, don't work with these guys. They're extremely bad at what they do and they're expensive. It's not worth it at all. You don't want that to happen. You really, really don't. And so do not sacrifice on quality, and make sure always that you are able to see above your client's level of details. If that's not the case, you're going to have a really hard time nailing what the client wants. I hope that's useful for somebody who wants to try and keep their clients for longer, because it makes a massive difference in the amount of money you can make if your clients leave you happy and have good word of mouth. When that's the case, you'll go very, very far. But to start with, you need to focus on making sure that never happens. And the way you do that is like build relationships and try and talk to them about what they're missing. That's a really, really helpful way. If you have a relationship that's kind of like going badly, don't just give up on it. Ask them how you can make it better and tell them you're sorry. Tell them it's your fault, things like that. Yeah, this is a really simple kind of like 5-minute playbook on how to keep your clients for a lot longer and stop losing them, because that will make you so much more money without any lead generation. You can literally 10x the size of your business just by keeping your existing clients for longer. If you already have a little bit of lead flow, you can massively grow the business without working on more marketing by just improving fulfillment. Anyway, feel free to comment if you have any questions.